you allow it. Like, it's only social media. Like, you've got issues. Like, I don't know why you're upset with the world. Then I was reading the post on his page, and he was talking about his mum, and talking about his mum never showed him love and never loved him and this and that. And I was like, this is where it stems from. Yeah, social media, like when social media is onto you, when they're playing judge, jury, and executioner, they could ruin you. And I remember, like, for years, there was times where you could tell that it's changed his whole personality as a person. I get let down so much, but I just don't really care, because I always say, regardless of how much I get let down, I'm willing to work so hard that I'm gonna achieve what I need to do regardless.
Even if it's like, we can't post that whole episode, that's calm. I'm really not too massively concerned. I'm just happy.
I never have issues with anything that really goes out, to be fair, because I kind of know how I speak on
You're
things.
very mindful about how you word things. There's always this moment before you speak.
Yeah, I always think.
It's never just blah.
Nah. Even when I tweet, it's always been like that. I don't know where it came from, but I just always.
I think you've probably learned somewhere in childhood, like, think before you speak, because you might get slapped.
There you go. Literally, there you go. And it's a thing that you could say something to people and they find it mad offensive.
Yeah.
But if you package it right, it makes them think that, wait, did he just say that? But they're not sure how to react to it.
I think the wording is very key on everything. And I'm definitely somebody, I've messed up a lot.
Yeah.
With being well-meaning.
Yeah.
But I've said it in the wrong way.
In the wrong way. Yeah.
And then people have just taken offense to it, and I'm like, that's not really what I meant.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm kind of similar. I don't think I do it as well as you do.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm just like, I'm just going off. I can't stop myself. I noticed, it was actually, I think, one of your recent episodes that came out, and was it Gabriel that was talking about it? Just like, remember exactly what was said now, but there was this sort of element of how you word things, and then how they're taken. And even though we're like doing a podcast, this whole thing has made me think more about how people, like how the algorithm works. And how people react to certain things, and that whatever you're thinking, like, people are going to respond well to, and then it doesn't happen at all.
No, they respond to things that trigger them.
Yeah. That's it. That's what he was talking about.
We had a guy who's on Backchat. My name's China, and when China came, I said, this episode is gonna have click, 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 just because of you, because I know he cuts things in a way that triggers people. And he was clipping.
I think it was that episode.
And he was just posting on his socials. And I was like, yeah, it's going to go viral. Everything's going to go viral just based on how you... And that episode, I was a bit more quiet.
Yeah.
Because I said to him at the beginning, I'm just going to let you talk. I'm just going to be in the background, just little words here.
I think, was it him and Gabriel were having quite a lot of back and forth?
Yeah. I said, this is both of you. I'm going to be in the background, and I'm hardly going to get involved.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Gabriel was talking and saying, like, back in the day on Twitter, he would purposefully, like, put things in a very inflammatory way.
If he didn't come off Twitter then, he'd have got cancelled permanent. Yeah.
Because I think I've only come across Gabriel because of you and through the channel.
I used to laugh because back then I was on Twitter, but I just kind of I knew things would go wrong. But it comes back to where I've always been kind of clued up. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when people used to just tweet wild, I just used to look at it. And I remember at the time, I was in a relationship with my ex. I just used to be like, right, this is funny, but I'm not going to say anything like that out there. And we just used to laugh about stuff. And I'll just be like, yeah, I'm never going to say something like this in public, because to me, it's just wild. But I think I was old before my time. You get what I'm saying? So when people were just getting cancelled years later, I just used to be like, you kind of put yourself in that. And I used to say it to them. I was like, I could foresee it from back in 2011.
What's an example of someone, you don't have to mention names, but like what's an example of someone you know that has gotten cancelled for something that they've said?
Perfect example is Mr. Expose, Free Shots. That literally took him off Twitter. And he was like a big popular Twitter account. But he got cancelled so bad. It's so bad he hardly uses socials.
What kind of stuff was he posting?
So he had tweets that just went super viral for the wrong reasons, but it was partly his fault because he decided to write. There was a blog company called Pardon My Blog, and he wrote a blog for them, and it was based on triggering the timeline and things that if you write these things or if you hit certain demographics, certain groups, it's gonna cause a major outreach. So when he's done this, I just remember saying in my head, oof, bad move, but you know what you're doing. What's happened now, fast forward, maybe like 6 months to a year later, Pardon My Blog, the blog page is gone. But your tweets are your tweets. So there's no context now behind it of what you've done, because it was basically at the time a social experiment of hitting certain demographics, and writing wild tweets is always seen more. Because a perfect example, there was a American page called Peanut something, I've forgotten, it's VH1 Peanut, and he just has been tweeting wild for like over 10 years, maybe like 15 years, and his tweets go viral. But what works in America doesn't work here. So the tweets he tweets, if any of us tweeted it right now, we'd be cancelled straight away. But American version of what they see as humorous, yeah, we can't play in that lane. You know what I mean? So he's tweeted like VH1 Peanut, and till today, anytime he goes and does anything that's on the media, like mainstream media, people bring back up those tweets. It's like, yeah, social media, like when social media is onto you, when they're playing judge, jury, and executioner, they could ruin you. And I remember, like, for years, there was times where you could tell that it's changed his whole personality as a person, where he don't really hang with none of us. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you see all of us go out, it's always me, Taser, Marvin, Gabriel, Hackney's Finest. There's a whole bunch of us, but he's never there. And you could tell that it mentally affected him, like, badly. But even though he doesn't talk about it, I could tell, like, yeah, they really, like, they had him on borderline suicide watch. Yeah. And people don't realize social media is a dangerous thing. Like, everyone would think, yeah, we're cancelling you, but they don't understand what they do to you on the back end. So, like, for instance, like with my YouTube and things like that, I don't even read the comments half the time. So, like, I even tell Wes, don't send me comments. I don't care people's opinions, because there's always people trying to draw me out, or people trying to pick a battle for no reason. So sometimes I might accidentally see something in the studio. Someone the other day, like, made a joke about the corners of my head. I just replied, "Oh, thank you." And they were expecting, like, you know, like a argument. Then the next time someone's hit my DM and made a joke similar on a burner page. No, they've hit the comments, they made a joke, I've replied, "Thank you." Then they've replied, then I've replied, but I'm just being mad friendly. Then they said, "Oh, you know what? Yeah, I like you. I'm gonna buy a T-shirt."
Okay.
I said, "Oh, thank you." You know what I mean? I said, "Well, I appreciate you." So he was like, "Oh, you can actually take a joke." I said, "Yeah." I said, people's opinions on me, whether you think I'm nice, ugly, whatever you think, it doesn't matter, because I've been someone who's very confident all my life. I might keep very to myself out my group, where you might have some of my group who are louder members, they like Gabriel, he talks a lot more.
Yeah.
Marvin, they talk a lot more. But I've been very, very like, I've seen myself at a certain level from young, but that's due to my mum. So if I message people, it always says greatness is messaging you. My mum would used to call me greatness as a kid. She always used to tell me I'm great. So in my head, like, no matter how much you try to gas me, it's not going to be enough because I'm already gassed in myself, but I don't carry myself like I'm gassed, but I'm already so gassed up that whatever you say is null and void. So people don't get that. They always are like, yeah, you don't really react. I'm like, nah, I don't need to react because I
can relate to that quite a bit, and I don't think that's the case for everybody because my mum was similar.
Yeah.
She gassed me up a lot.
Yeah.
I saw this image on this like little quote meme thing saying, I can't hear anything. With something along the lines with, my mum was tapping for me so hard that I can't hear any of the rest of the noise.
There you go.
And I was just like, and I didn't realize at the time that she was doing that. I didn't realize growing up, like
it affects people in different ways because I could see like, there was someone who made on his page, he was like, he used to message my DMs, but I never saw it. What has started to happen is I get so much messages now that sometimes if I don't respond within like 3-4 hours, like it's so like it goes like it's mad. If I just accidentally open and don't, I will literally lose, you know what I mean? So this guy was on my message request and he would be messaging and sending his music and stuff like that. Then all of a sudden, one day I was just seeing like a random tag where this guy's cussing me, saying I want to kill you, I want to do this, I want to do that. So I've messaged him. I said, bro, what's your problem? Do I know you from somewhere? Like, because you know, the thing about social media, what is caused is because people see that you're progressing and they see that you've now got something to lose. They try to test you. And I just literally just replied back. Then I reported it to the police and my mates were like, the old you would have tracked him and literally run up on him. And I said, funny enough, yeah, I know his full name, I know where he stays, etc., etc. It's not hard. All you need is you find someone's full name, you go to someone who works in a phone shop and say, right, type this in the system. Get their address. You get what I'm saying? So I just thought to myself, I just reported it. I just thought this guy was making threats about he's going to kill me, he's going to do this and do that. I just think to myself, like, allow it. Like, it's only social media. Like, you've got issues. Like, I don't know why you're upset with the world. Then I was reading the post on his page and he was talking about his mum. And talking about his mum never showed him love and never loved him and this and that. And I was like, this is where it stems from. So you hate me because I move a certain way. I keep to myself. I don't do the kumbaya buddy with everyone. Like, I know a lot of people, but I just kind of stay in my own lane. Like, even in my friend circle, they might all go out together and I'm just in the corner by myself. The other day we all went out. Everyone was just like, oh, we're going to the party. I didn't even say I was coming. Then 30 minutes before I said, oh yeah, I'm on my way there. So they've come and I was already in there. And they were like, oh, why didn't you say it? I was like, the people whose party it was, I know them personally. So I kind of had mentioned months ago, oh, I might pop by, but I'm 50-50. So when you see them, they're all in a batch, but I'm just kind of just floating by myself, doing my thing, and then I'll come in, you know what I mean? So when I seen that guy's messages, again, going back to that, I just kind of just thought in my head, it goes back to how your parents treated you as a child. Because mine, again, like I said, gassed me so much that my internal confidence is so high, everything else don't matter. You get what I'm saying? Like, I've been one of those people who, I get let down so much, but I just don't really care, because I always say, regardless of how much I get let down, I'm willing to work so hard that I'm gonna achieve what I need to do regardless.
I've noticed you've mentioned that like a number of times on socials about like being let down by people.
Yeah.
And it's quite odd with you because I feel like we're very similar. I'm a very introverted individual. The only difference between me and you is you have a really big network.
Yeah.
And I do know a lot of people, and a lot of people do know me.
Yeah.
But there's never this sense of access.
Yeah.
Whereas with you, there does seem to be this sense of access.
Yeah.
And so you do engage with a lot of people, and you do probably give a lot of people opportunities and chances and in various different ways, not just business, but social and whatever. People letting you down. Like, I know if it's me, I kind of like look at somebody before I've even spoken to them. I might observe certain things, and then I draw patterns, and I'm like, I feel like I've seen this a few times before.
Yeah.
I can put you in a number of different scenarios, and I know how it's going to play out.
Yeah.
So I'm just not really going to engage with you.
Yeah.
I sense that you're probably somebody who does something similar.
Yeah. And sometimes I do it in a way to, so I was out recently and I bumped into like an old friend and he was complaining saying, I don't holler. So I just had to remind him certain things. I said, all right, cool. This is why I don't holler. Boom, 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 boom. And he was like, oh, snap. I said, you know me, I don't mince my words. I said, a lot of times I might not say something, but I said, you've been around me long enough to understand how I move. But you've done this, that. And I said, wow, I've done this, that for you. But you just seem to always be drawing and taking. And you're just not realizing you're taking. And I said to myself, instead of complaining, let me just remove myself from that situation and let you be you and let me be me. And that was it. And he was just like, you know what? I respect it. I said, yeah. So I said, oh, what's up anyway? He was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, we're not going to do that. Our relationship is totally different now. Yeah, like those days are gone. I'm focused on me doing this and I can't be constantly carrying. So get yourself to where you need to be, and maybe one day things might change. But for now, I'm so in my own zone and tunnel visioned that I can't be wasting time constantly playing hero. You know what I mean? So I've started to learn how to switch off on people that I used to help.
Right.
Yeah, because I realize time is not everlasting, and at the moment for me, like days feel like a blur. It's weird, like Monday's here and it's Sunday already. Like, you know, some people, their week feels like to them, oh yeah, the week is dragging. At the moment, it just feels like my life is just and I can't keep up at times. I used to play basketball as a kid, and I remember like my coach always drilling into my head. He was like, everything I'm teaching you here, it's not basketball. He's like, yeah, basketball is just the main thing that we do. But he was like, I'm teaching people skills. So he was like, today we're here, tomorrow we're in Birmingham, next week it might be in Manchester. You're meeting people, you're talking to people. He's like, this is how you build a network. So as a child now, I just remember I'm meeting people from different walks of life all around the country and just keeping in contact. So remember, like at 16, that's when everyone was getting their first Nokias back in 2001. So I'm taking people's numbers and keep in contact, and we're texting and all that. Fast forward now, this person might work at Google, this person might work for this company, that person works here, and it's just compounded where I traveled from young. So I remember like my first time going on holiday, I was like, it was like after my 19th birthday, solo to America. So for instance, a few of my friends who grew up out here, they were in basketball scholarships. I've landed in Philly, stayed in this one's place in Pennsylvania for like a week, gone back to Philadelphia. They've introduced me to people. Then from that, I've kept in contact with Americans I've met 20 years back. And anytime anyone flies out here, they'll be like, okay, link up with Chiz. Then they've linked up with me. From them, they've introduced me to the next friend. So branches just build.
I think that's really interesting. There's like almost a power to nostalgia
Yeah.
where you might have only met that person once or twice, but because it was back in the day,
Yeah.
it's kind of like people almost, not that it's a flex, but it's just like the way that they look back on it and then the way that they bring you up and speak about you at that point, it just adds to their story in a weird way. Like, yeah, I know this guy from here, and even though it has been 20 years of no contact, it just, from the person listening to it, it's just like, oh, okay, like there's this rich history back there.
Yeah.
It does make a little bit of sense. I think that's probably one of the areas where I kind of went wrong.
Yeah.
One, I feel bad for saying this, but I cut off a lot of people from back in the day. I've changed a lot as a person over time, and I think that's one of the reasons I've shifted who I became.
Yeah.
And maybe because as we all got older, some people were still doing certain things that I no longer at this stage in my life want in my life.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay.
You know what? I've learned kind of how to navigate around those kind of people. So I've got friends who are very corporate. Then I still got the ones who are just, you just know they're always going to be who they are. But with those people there, we don't hang around in public together. But they might come visit me like once or twice a year. I might go visit them once or twice a year. The love's always going to stay because we've known each other from kids.
Yeah.
But I say to them, you're never going to come to my birthday parties. You're not invited to my events. I'm never going to party with you. Let's just keep it as that. Sometimes, yeah, if we do meet out and go to eat, it might be somewhere like in a part of Croydon where I know no one's going to be.
Wow. Okay.
So it's just, yeah, there's no pics. Let's just keep it like that.
Yeah.
'Cause I know you're on badness, but I've always got love for you because we go like nearly 30 years deep.
I think that's what it is, and that's why I've always felt bad, because it's not like the love disappeared. It's not like, oh, I've stopped caring about this person.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
For our paths to cross.
No, I understand, but they respect me enough now to know that I'm not in the same lane as them.
Yeah.
But they respect me because they realize that even though my life is going well and going the same way, that I still always check in on them. But I say to them, you know, I've got kids and that, and if your kids are telling you that they watch my YouTube and my Instagram and stuff like that, at least now I know your kids are not going to be like you. They're going to, oh, Uncle Chiz, you're going to follow my path. So as long as there's always that connection, they're going to be like, oh yeah, so-and-so was like, oh, I'll put him on the phone, you know? So they know that I just push them to the side, that I'm still there, like I'm still within reach. And slowly I've seen like a few of my friends who I thought would never change, when they've had children, it's just literally just flip them to our side, where I'm just like, wow. Like,
children did definitely, like, I mean, I've had my own sort of experiences with that. Like, I didn't end up having my kids, but I was in that situation. And again, from what I understand, even at a biological level, there's like a chemical reaction that happens within men where we immediately just go into this sort of gatherer mode. And I think that's what happened to me at that time. I remember just like, I immediately like went to clear all my debts. I sorted out my finances. I never cared about money up until that point. And then I started trying to make money and doing all these things. And that's also the point where I made decisions about, well, okay, certain people can't be in my life.
yeah,
Because if I did have these children, like, would I want these children asking me, oh, what's Uncle so-and-so doing? Or, like, what's Uncle, like, I saw Uncle so-and-so, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, then I don't want that around them. And even though I didn't end up being in that situation in the end, it's kind of like carried forward with me. That being said, those individuals aside, I still didn't bother to connect with a lot of even just regular everyday people that I came across that I could have connected with. And going back to that situation with Wes, like he was at the event before you showed up. He's like, I'm not really getting anywhere with these people. What could Wes have done better?
You know what I've been trying to do now, I was saying to him, is once we get like a bit more sponsors on the channel, I think with the setup, we're just literally just gonna refurb everything. And what I'm gonna do is I'll probably like stick GoPros in corners, places where I could just literally have the cameras just screwed on angles and mics everywhere. Get my friends who are electricians to come and fix up properly the lighting, full works. So instead of him really like being in the background of the camera, like if you see, have you seen 90s Baby?
I think there was 3 guys.
Yeah, so 90s Baby is 3 guys. VP used to be behind on the camera.
Right, okay, okay.
But now with their setup, VP's in the main setup with Temmie and what's the name? So like all 3 of them now are in the main scene, but before VP was behind. And what you normally have is maybe like one little camera focused on VP while he's focused on dealing with the show. But now the way things are set up, he don't need to be behind, you know? So I said to Wes, we need to try to get you main. Before Wes used to be like, no. But now he don't mind. And now he started to do his own extra content as well for the channel. Because I said to him, our channel is like a hub. It's not based on me.
Yeah.
It's based on all of us. And I'm trying not to be the main, like, if you notice with the pod, I try to push Gabriel as the main part of the pod because I vlog. So I know when it comes to the vlogs, people are paying attention to me on that side. But I'm trying to push Gabriel like into mainstream because I think he's got that talent for like radio and broadcasting because he used to do that years ago.
Right.
But I've been trying to convince him that this is you, you know. Don't run away.
Oh, he's a big character, man.
Yeah, I'm like, this is fully you. Do not run away from it.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.